I figure I'm gonna try to do something different. I'm gonna try to do 2 videos a day. I'm gonna try to do a video that talked about the goal for the day and then what we ended up with. Because I do want to highlight how either a delivery, phone call, an idea, something makes a change in the day. So after finishing last night, I was working on the bezel for the dash, right? So I kind of had this gap right here on the side. And this is all forged carbon, so that means now I'm gonna have to make this higher. Actually, you know what? So this is what happens when you gotta like think, right? So there's screws behind here that actually hold the display, and those screws hit like there's another piece behind there. I can right here. So these screws, you can see that where my finger is. They hit that. So if I cut that out, then it'll drop down. And then that way, I don't have to worry about that gap. Because then now, the suede piece, this is just covered with tape. So that way, it's suede, black suede behind this. It won't get dirty and whatever from all the dust. Hopefully the adhesive won't mess it up. But if I have to have it redone, I'll redo it. But that's the goal. But anyway, and I probably should have used green tape on this. So that way this adhesive is not as aggressive as the green tape. But anyway, that'll drop down and it'll cover that gap. But that was like one thorn in my side for today. So I got to figure that out. I did cut out the rest of this because I know the new PowerTune display has kind of a thickness to it. It's thicker than the previous one that I had. So that way it'll fit in this cavity here. So the goal for today is figuring out how I want to connect everything to, as far as this to this and this to the back. So that has to be completed today. I want to get my seat bolted in. The passenger seat is half bolted in, so it doesn't go anywhere. So I know it's fixed based on how it has to be in reference to the speaker box that goes here. I got my 6.5-inch mid that's going to be glassed in. There's tape around the bottom of it because I thought about making it separate housing so that way it bolts to that particular part. But then I thought earlier this morning too, why go through all that, make it separate, then I got to bolt it to it and all that. So I was like, well, I'll just glass it in to that individual part because it won't make a difference if I have to take it out, right? Because the there's gonna be a roll cage that comes down and over that speaker or just at the top bridge of it. So it'll be protected and all that, but there's no reason really to make that a separate piece. So I had taped it at the bottom, put silicone and everything on it because I had to be careful about the resin going onto the black part. As you see, it's scratched up and everything because it's prepped and ready to be a wet layup for the carbon. So that way the resin will go into the grooves or whatever. So that's all scratched over like 80 grit. And so that's why that's like that. So I had silicone, I put tape down, put silicone on that. So that way it can just literally just lift up. But in thinking about making it all one piece, now take the tape off, sand it down some more because, you know, the silicone now has settled on that a little bit. So you want to make sure that it will stick. So I got to resand that. But I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and glass all that in. This is the cavity right here I've cut. There's like a little lip. So the magnet will sit there. However, I've got, just like how you see the 4x6s right there, there's some rubber encasements that will go in there to protect the speaker and also cultivate the sound to project up towards you. So you got your sub bass or mid bass, but it actually works almost like a mini sub. Here, I'll have a 12-inch sub right behind the seat in that cavity there. That's the speaker box here. So it's already been cut to fit with that. And let's see. So then you start your mids and highs in the door. So you have a 3-inch and a tweeter right here. And then some 4x6s down here at the bottom, which is the ones you see on the dash to project up towards you. I have some of these. These are by Crystal Mobile Sound. I don't think Crystal Mobile Sound is in business anymore, but man, I love those. They're in my Porsche and really nice and bright and clear, and really loving those. So I have collected a number of different components over the years. Hold on one sec. Back in the game. So as I was saying, I've collected a number of different components over the years. I've used a lot of stuff. So I got a feel for sound. I'm kind of a little bit of an audiophile. So I know the difference between a metal dome tweeter, soft dome tweeter, projection of the speaker and where it's placed, things of that nature. I play with a lot of different cars. So anyway, not to go off on a tangent. That's where I am today. I play with a lot of different placements of that 4x6. I think we're going to do the 4x6 in this area here on both sides. One of the things I ran into last night, let me jump on the other side. And this is because, like I said, I'm going to try to take you guys step by step. So this roll cage is going to be continued across the, passengers, right? Passenger and driver. So there's going to be one bar that comes here, and then there's another bar, which is this guy here. That's going to be, like I said, across that speaker. It'll attach at the top, and then it'll go down. Actually, it's going to go a lot further down past the dash, and connect to another pipe that goes vertical from top to bottom, from the dash down to the floor. And hopefully you have some support and some safety here. So that was offset too, because I originally wanted to put a bar right here to connect. Sorry about that. A bar right here to connect to the floor, to the top roll cage. But obviously our seat's in the way. And I thought about backing up the seat, but I can't back up the seat because of my speaker box, right? So this is another reason why too, mock up and installing your parts that you make along the way is important, especially when you've made decisions like a long time ago, because the domino effect is crazy that you got to juggle to make sure everything fits. And, you know, your design can change because of stuff like that. So originally, I'm thinking that bar is going to go here. As a matter of fact, I had already cut it. I think it's on the other side of the car. So now that bar is a waste. I wasted material on that one. Luckily, I have a lot more because I bought that chrome moly steel years ago when I was going to actually make a chassis for this body that I made. So I got a ton of material. But in any case, that's what happens. And it can cost you even in materials or whatever. So, you know, I believe in mock-up or seeing the whole process through. Look at the neighbor. What do you want to do with, you know, the space next to where you're working is important, because it helps you make decisions, massage the idea, and kind of keep the flow of things. It can save you money too, time. But, you know, you got to flush out anything that can be inconsistent. So anyway, the goal for today is to get speakers glassed in, both the 6.5 and also the 4x6s. Let me jump on the other side too to show you what's going on. So the other thing I did too is I got signal lights. These little guys, the indicators actually. So right now everything is on the steering wheel to operate the signal lights, but I don't know if they're on or off during the daytime. So now I had to figure out where I was going to put them. Originally, and this is what that whole mock-up thing is. Originally, I was going to put them here, but then come to find out, once I put my steering wheel on there, that's not visible. It's not. It doesn't make sense to do that. So I'm gonna opt to go out here and set them up so that way they're nice and visible. Clearance to the steering wheel, which I got. Steering to the steering wheel, and I'm gonna get that wired up today too. So got a few things to do. Got to recess this, get my seats bolted in, glass in the speakers. Got to cut out that cavity on that side and make sure that they are functional. I'll probably go ahead and run the speaker wire. And then maybe even get the amps and stuff like that in. Everything is pre-wired for the KEC 202 that's going to be up here in the center. And then also the radio. The wiring is behind this little digital deal there. That's going to be eventually coming out. But it's only there because it's still wired to my lift kit that's in the front. But as soon as I figure out which wires go to that, I got to take that out because everything was on there that's digital. So it was a digital display for the AC, radio, the lift kit for the car, and another display that was basically dubbing what you saw over here for the driver, so for the passenger. And so I'm gonna go ahead and take that out. I might put that in my other car actually, but for this car, had to come out. So but everything else is wired up over there for the radio, the AC, which is at the top, and then the electronic crossover on the top part of the dash. And so we'll try to get some things wired up. Not in, because this dash has to come out for a couple reasons. So we'll see if we can get that in. Then also maybe even the speaker cavities for the door panels as well. The other thing is a long shot, not putting too much on my agenda, but I do have all the components to make my glass slide down. This is a split window in the SLC. Some of them come with solid windows. Mine came with a split window. And so with that said, much like the Countach and some of the other cars, the Senna I think has a split window like that. It basically is a window right here that is non-existent unless you put it in. And a lot of guys have been really creative with it, but you know, it's not really all that functional. So I split this cavity already. So I got it to slide down. Just have to do the passenger side. So I got my split part to slide down into the door, but now I got to create the mechanism, and I got my rod right here and some other stuff. But I'm going to create a mechanism on a spring load basis to be able to get my window to slide down, and then under the spring load to pull back up should you want to put it back in place. And so that's going to be huge to keep the temperature control inside the car, so it's not like always cold, or if it gets too hot or whatever, it just has some airflow, right? So and I don't want to be fixed. I don't want just having an open window. I want to have the same comfort you would have in any other car. So that's why that's very important to me. So that is a tall order for today, to be honest with you, because a lot of things can go very different. But that is the goal, is to try to get this window done, get it cut out on the other side, and if I can get both of them going, that'd be great. Get the speakers inside the door, get everything glassed in over there, and then get my signal lights recessed into the bezel for the dash, for the display. So that's goal for today. If I hit that, you know, we jump on to something else. But I'm going to try to do 2 videos with goal and what the end of the day was like, and keep things going for you guys.